Hello everyone and welcome to another showcast brought to you by Shiki StarCraft. This is going to be a 1 vs 1 in the Platinum Division. It is here on Scrap Station, the 1 vs 1 map that was recently changed in patch 10 to add destructible debris to guard your natural expansion just outside your base. And then obviously it's got the island expansion, popular for Terrans to float to, and it's got the gold expansion guarded by Xel'Naga Watchtower here and here. So anyways, let's get this underway. We've got Hotshot, the blue Protoss, spawning here at the 12 o'clock position, up against QSQ, spawning as the red Terran here at the 2 or 3 o'clock position. I have done a few of Hotshot's replays before. This one he has sent me. And as you can see, his scout here did build the 9 pylon, and then go and check for any proxies or anything that might be happening here. He didn't see anything, and he's probably going to go scout out now. He's probably going to touch the Xel'Naga Watchtower as he goes by to get a good view of anything around there. Back in QSQ's base, his SCV did build a supply depot and is now just sitting here waiting for 150 minerals to get that barracks. Very common. You do lose a little bit of mining time, but hey, that happens. Hotshot now getting his gateway and chrono boosting his Nexus. That'll be his second time to get his economy up and running. Probe trying to do a little bit of harassment on the SCV building the barracks. It did force him to take it off, so he gained 2 or 3 seconds in the build time. Well, I should say QSQ lost 2 or 3 seconds in the build time, and now just queuing up a few points to scout with. As soon as that barracks is done, we probably will see a orbital command coming up. Back in Hotshot's base, we see another pylon and an assimilator, about 66% done now. Still queuing up more probes, obviously trying to get a very strong economy. Probably see him transfer 3 probes as soon as the assimilator's done. Not quite yet. Building a cyber core, so definitely transitioning into looks to be like stalkers or sentries, or maybe even something with air. Stargate Robobay, we'll have to see. Getting the second gas up, similar to how I like to do it, as you get your cybernetics core and then you get your gas shortly after. Getting another pylon up. He's got about 6 supply left and he's still getting a supply depot. That's good. Terran looks to be fast expanding. So QSQ here looking to develop a bigger economy than his opponent, trying to get that fast expansion up and running. I have seen this quite a few times now. Very popular on Scrap Station since the natural expansion is very well guarded now. You can set up a wall here even if you prefer, and it actually walls off both. But obviously getting his second barracks at the top of his ramp, he is choosing to wall off at the top. I'm not sure if I agree with that, but we'll see how it unfolds. One Marine standing on the grates here behind the smoke. If you guys haven't noticed, you can't see anything past the smoke if you're inside the smoke, and vice versa. If you're outside the smoke, you can't see inside. So it creates somewhat of a barrier so that you can hide your troops or, provide some kind of sneak attack or a flank. Getting a zealot and a sentry out, chrono boosting warp gates. They're now almost about over 50% done, and we are getting a robotics bay, setting up the waypoint already. It looks like he's got his waypoint set right to the zealot, so good to know. Yes, everything is actually set to that first zealot, so fairly smart. Factory now coming up along with a third barracks. Are we going to see Hellions or tanks, or are we going to see something straight into medevacs or something else in the air? We'll see, I guess. Banshees can be fairly effective against a Protoss on this map. Once again, Void Rays can also be fairly effective on this map as well because of the short air distance. The ground distance is very long, but the air distance is not at all. QSQ here now with both refineries up, doing well in his supply. He's got lots of room to build units. Getting a 4th barracks up, 5th barracks up, and a starport. So 5 barracks and a starport. No add-ons yet. Are we going to see... Oh, just as I'm saying that, we're seeing 1 tech lab, 2 tech lab, 3 tech lab. And we maybe may see 2 reactors come off these two then. We are seeing a reactor come on the factory. They'll probably do the old switcheroo with the starport in the factory and then pump out medevacs. That seems to be what's going on. Protoss here pushing out with his first Immortal. Somewhat of a timing push, destroying these rocks. We're going to see what's going to happen here, but this could be a fairly dangerous force, as I believe the Terran only has 3 Marines at the moment, and now pumping out 3 Marauders. No Marines or reactors on these labs yet. Barracks. We are researching concussive shells, and it looks like the Terran's going to land his factory just above the smoke. Now, I'm not sure what the idea of that is, but if the Terran army is behind the factory and shooting on the Protoss, the Zealots, of course, will engage the army, but any of his ranged units would actually, if he just attack moved, if he's not microing, any of the army will focus on the factory instead of going to the army. So that could be a smart move actually by the Terran. We'll see how Hotshot's micro is. And it looks like he's going to push in. These medevacs did see now this coming, so the Terran is going to be ready for this. And yes, everything does engage the barracks. And the army, yes, as you can see, the Zealots are trying to engage, but some of his units are actually getting stuck on attacking the barracks. Now micromanaging. Ooh, and bad news here. The Immortal, his big hitter on these Marauders, he needs those. Now focusing on SCVs. SCVs coming off the line from the natural expansion, trying to engage in the army and just tie them up. We have a reinforcing Immortal coming in, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think. These SCVs are taking too much attention of the Immortal, and these Marauders are being able to focus down the Stalkers. Yes, focusing down that Stalker, trying to kill the Sentry. Next will be the Immortal, and this army looks to be cleaned up for Hotshot. QSQ does defend it. Charge now upgraded for the Zealots. That is going to be very effective against these Marauders. Zealots do very well against Marauders, as they are their damage is 10 plus 10 armored, and Zealots, of course, are light biological. So they don't do the full damage, and Zealots unfortunately do charge in, get really close. Stalkers pulling up the rear, doing their full damage against armored. Very nice follow-up here. Terran QSQ trying to micro, doing a fairly good job. Trying to micro when charge is not on cooldown, is on cooldown. This Immortal and 2 Stalkers once again engaging this factory. Now the whole army engaging these Marauders. Trying to micromanage the Immortal back, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to be forced to retreat. A nice force field, well, an okay force field, trying to stop these Marauders, but one did stim up and was able to take out that Stalker. So Terran doing fairly well right now. Income-wise, we're looking at quite a large economic advantage. We are seeing still medevacs being pumped out, still Marines out of the add-on list barracks, and we're seeing Marauders out of the Tech Lab barracks. Nothing else going on in his base, no upgrades, nothing spectacular here. We are seeing double gas now being produced at the natural expansion. Protoss is probably thinking he needs to either push again with a large force and out-micro his enemy, or he's going to need to expand